radio's up. Hello, everyone. Got a full house here tonight. Thanks for joining us.
What time? 6 o'clock. Yeah, put it over there. Because we have our anniversary dinner.
All right, here we go.
Talk shoes. Recorded live.
Good evening and welcome to Garden City Community Chat. This podcast is dedicated to promoting our community and yours, offering news you can use and much more. And now, Garden City Community Chat. Well, hello, Garden City, and hello to our neighbors in Westland, Dearborn Heights, Inkster, Redford, Livonia, and Plymouth and Canton. Thanks for joining us tonight. You're listening to Garden City Community Chat, show number 289, Mike. Can you believe it? 289? 289.
Yeah, that's almost 300.
Yeah, it is. It's April 28th, 2016. This is Garden City's only live podcast where we share news you can use and promote our community and yours. I'm your host, Kerry, and joining me tonight is Garden City's favorite weather guy, Doppler Tom. How you doing, Tom?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing tonight?
Well, we'll let you know after we hear the weather report.
That's how it always goes.
I know.
I expect it'll be warmer now that the tires are on the road. Thanks a lot.
Is your mic on, Mike? Okay. Former Garden City Councilman, fellow Kiwanian, fellow commissioner on the Commission on Aging, and longtime resident of Garden City, Mr. Mike Jones. Mike, what's up?
Oh, everything's just coming up roses, or they're a little bit frozen, but
Right, exactly. Joy and Holly are here with their 2-minute gardening tips, and our guest, who will be joining us here shortly, our very own favorite guest of all time, Senator David Knezek.
Howdy.
How are you?
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
Good, good. And California artist and Westland native, Mr. Don Wakefield, is back to give us an update on his latest venture for us right here in Garden City. Don, how you doing?
Doing well, thanks.
Glad to have you.
Good to be here.
All right, and then as always, Mike's going to close the show out with community announcements, so please sit back, grab your favorite beverage, and join us for the next 60 minutes or so. Should be a good one. I just want to mention that joining us next week, May 5th, right here in studio, we'll be chatting with Dennis Newbacher. You may remember Dennis Newbacher from Channel 7 Days with Eric Smith at WXYZ. He did the morning traffic reports, and I believe he was on the Dick Purton show, wasn't he, Mike?
I think so.
It'll be nice visiting with Dennis and see what occupies his time now. So call it a Throwback Thursday show. We hope you'll join us, so mark your calendars.
Didn't they do the helicopter type reports?
Yeah, maybe he'll fly in. I think he's still flying, I think. We'll have to, maybe he'll fly in. We'll have to make room on the deck for him. I also want to remind you that we'll be celebrating our 6th year of being on the air here at Talk Shoe. That takes place on our June 9th show. And then on July 14th, we're going to be celebrating our 300th show. We'll probably be doing that show live somewhere, from somewhere. We look forward to that. Look for more details about our 300 show celebration as we move forward. Those celebrations are always a good time. And don't forget, on top of all of that, we have several great community events that's going to be taking place throughout the year, not only here in Garden City, but our surrounding communities as well. And we'll be here to announce those for you as soon as we know when and where. So it's going to be a busy 2016. We invite you to be a part of the conversation here tonight. The Senator and Don will be here to answer any questions you may have. And if so, it's very easy to reach us. Just call 1-724-444-7444. And you're going to enter the call ID 82757, followed by the pound sign. Or you can join us in the chat room by going online to TalkShoe.com and search for call ID 82757. That's going to take you right to our main show page where you'll find a large join in button. Click on it. A window's going to open. Sign in as a guest, and that's all there is to it. Once you're in the chat room, you can type your questions and comments at the bottom of the page, and you'll find our phone number and show ID there as well. If you'd like to text your questions to us, the number is 734-788-9319. We look forward to hearing from you. Now, remember, all our shows are recorded so you can catch us later at your convenience, which several of our listeners do by going to our main show page, where you'll find all 289 shows listed in order for you over there. So please check them out. The audio from tonight's show will be posted on our Facebook page at facebook.com/GCChat about 30 minutes or so after we sign off tonight. So please look for that. And if all that wasn't enough, Mike,
Yes, sir.
we are also doing a live unedited video of tonight's show. So you can put a face with the voice, and that will be available tomorrow on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/communitychatshow. Please look for that, and while you're there, why not subscribe to the channel? That way you'll be notified when we post future shows. Just click on the little red subscribe button right below the video. All right, let's get Tom in here and see about this crummy weather, see what he's got coming up for the weekend. Then we'll visit with our first guest, Senator Knezek. Okay, let's get a check on the weather with Doppler Tom, see what he has in store for the rest of this week and the weekend. Tom, what do you have for us? All right, is it going to improve?
Of course.
It's always going to improve, and then it'll get worse again, and then it will improve. It's an ongoing cycle here in Michigan. It gets good, and then it gets bad, and then it gets good again. But yeah,
Good.
today wasn't the greatest day to be outside. A little cool, definitely on the cooler side today, and a little bit on the rainy side as well. But luckily, it wasn't an all-day rain, as we were dealing with temperatures in the 40s today for highs. We have been dealing with some on and off rain during the evening, and that will probably continue as we get into the overnight hours. But I do think it's really going to be another rainy day like we had today tomorrow, but it is going to be a little bit on the cloudier side. And we're going to try to get those temperatures and the sun to even come out tomorrow. It's going to be a long period before we see the sun again. So have your patience, because there is going to be kind of a cloudy, gloomy start to the day, as temperatures are going to be probably in the low 40s, and then we'll try to get into the lower 50s tomorrow. And as we get into Saturday and Sunday, overall it's going to be a cooler weekend than the weekends that we have been dealing with the last few. We'll probably be dealing with temperatures in the lower 60s for high temperatures. So it's not the worst weekend in the world, but it's not going to be the warmest. And there probably will be rain on Saturday night. Probably not on Sunday during the day. The main threat's going to be on Saturday night. So if you have any outdoor plans during the daytime hours during the week, during the weekend, you should be all right. Just it'll probably be a little bit on the cloudier side with a little bit of sun filtering in from time to time. And then as we get into next week, I do see a little bit of a change in the pattern, hopefully starting to become more defined as we get closer and closer to it. We'll probably see a lot more sunshine as we get into next week, and with sunshine, especially as we get into closer to the summer, those temperatures will follow as well. We'll probably be dealing with temperatures all of next week, probably into following into May as well. Yeah, definitely into May. Mid to upper 60s. So definitely a turnaround as we get into next week than we have been dealing with recently. And as we get later into May, hopefully those temperatures will continue to increase. I do see potential for 70, so that's going to be nice, a nice change than we have been dealing with today. So that's nice. Not any big storm systems that we're going to be dealing with here in Michigan. I don't see any that we have to worry about. Just some bouts of rain here and there as we get into the next few days and into next week, but nothing major really to deal with. The majority of next week will be dry, so that's the good news. And as we expand outward, there's a pattern across the United States. A lot of severe weather across much of the southern and eastern United States, across the plains, and which is typical for this time of year. And don't get me wrong, they are used to this kind of active weather across those parts of the neck of the woods, but nothing they can't handle. A lot of flooding, especially across the Gulf Coast today. They deal with a lot of flooding down there, and a lot of severe weather in the plains. But overall, it hasn't been anything too dangerous that we have been dealing with, unlike 5 years ago on this date, especially yesterday on the 27th, was the super outbreak of 2011, which is, in my mind, the biggest tornado outbreak in U.S. history occurred 5 years ago. And I was actually, before I came on this show, I was actually going back and listening to an old show that we did.
Yeah.
This is show number 46.
46?
We're taking it way back.
Wow.
And it was the day after that tornado outbreak occurred, and it was just me and you, and we were talking about that storm system. And as it was really coming to light of how severe it was. And
Wow.
pretty interesting show, and I just listened to that just before we came on here. So
Well,
if you want to go back and do the Throwback Thursdays, if you will, it's always interesting to listen to those shows.
It
Talk
is.
shows.
Yeah, it
They're
is.
pretty.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. Believe it or not, show number 46, and we're almost at 300. So
I know.
that's
Isn't it crazy?
we've been on here for quite a while. People are still listening to us, so
Yeah.
I guess we're doing something right.
Right.
But
Exactly.
overall, I don't really see any outbreaks like that across the United States, especially here. I don't see any severe weather, so that's some good news.
That's
But
good.
if we talk about the future, I don't really see anything big going on for us. No severe weather, no big heat waves. But the heat will probably be in the southern United States, across the southeast. They could probably be dealing with temperatures in the 80s and 90s over the weekend, so that's nice for them. And the West Coast as well, they're going to be dealing with warm weather. But if you want to keep into this, my local weather information, just go to my website, DopplerTomsWeather.com.
Okay, cool.
Hey, Tom, sharpen your pencil for next Thursday.
Uh-oh. Next Thursday, I'm listening.
I need a report for vacation, British Isles and France for the next 2 weeks after that.
So you got all week to work on it.
Mike, you're killing me. You're killing me, Mike.
Hey, not any more than you killed me down at Comerica Park at 47 degrees and wind chills on Tuesday night.
Hey, so Saturday
See what I
looks
can do for you.
Yeah,
so Saturday looks pretty good though, right?
yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
Tigers
going to
and
be
Cleveland.
overall
Okay.
the sunniest day, but it's not going to be raining or anything. It'll just be a mild, kind of cloudy day, so
Yeah.
nothing too crazy to deal with. No, it'll be good.
Yeah, because we got that grand opening in Garden City. I just wanted to mention it's Saturday from 2 to 4 at the Garage Fitness and Training Facility, 32669 Warren, right next to Amateo's Restaurant at Vinoy and Warren. I think you're going to be there, right, Sander? Hopefully.
Perhaps.
Okay.
What time
We'll
is it?
twist your arm.
What time is it?
Between 2 and 4, and the ribbon cutting will be 2:15 to 2:30. So you might want to
We have a-
check that out.
They were Kiwanis prayer breakfast in the morning there.
Oh, then you can just shoot right over after that.
Yeah, right. Just make a day of it. Hanging out at Vinoy and Warren.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you're going to be there, right? Anyway, so. All right, let me introduce our first guest for tonight. He needs no introduction, really. Our most frequent guest and all-time favorite, Senator David Knezek. Welcome back, Senator.
This is a relatively new title, but I'm okay with it.
You like that,
you,
don't you?
you should be. You coined it.
I'm twisting your arm off air. You better call me what I told you.
Yeah, he's the one that told us, right?
Right.
Yeah, I'm your favorite all-time guest. He told us. So how's it going? What's new? What's going on in Lansing?
You know, we're still in the middle of the budget cycle, and so a lot of what we've got going on right now is related to the $59 or so billion budget that we've got in the state of Michigan. The House of Representatives is a little bit ahead of us right now
Really?
in terms of voting their budgets out and sending them our way. I mean, the process, you know, simply put, is you're going to get a budget that comes out of the Senate. You're going to get a budget that comes out of the House. They never are even remotely close to being the same. And so then it goes to something called a conference committee.
Okay.
And the conference committee, you've got representatives from each party in each chamber, and they go and kind of hammer out line by line the differences. Some things stay in, some things come out. And so what you try to do ahead of time in order to help solidify, you know, things staying in is you try to work on both sides of the Capitol. You know, I might be able to get something into the budget on the Senate side, but
Yeah.
if you go into conference, if you don't have it also in on the House side,
Right.
it's easy to just put it on the chopping block and take it off. If you've got identical words and identical priorities going into the conference committee, it just really increases the likelihood that things are going to stay in there. And so obviously it's difficult. We're in the minority, but you
Yeah,
try to
right.
get wins where you can. And so we've gone through the various education budgets, the corrections budget. We're looking at shutting down 2 prisons in the state of Michigan this year just because the prison population has continued to decline so much over the past couple of years, which I think is a
Really?
good thing.
Oh, that is, yeah.
Yeah. And so,
knew? Yeah.
yeah, who knew? And so, you know, one of the biggest discrepancies, if you will, in the governor's proposed budget was, you know, talking about the privatization of some of this community mental health services.
Right.
And, you know, luckily we had some leaders in the House the subcommittee chair who come out and said, it's just really not anything that I'm interested in. The Senate said the exact same thing, so that privatization is off the table now. We're not going to be moving forward with that in the state, so that's good.
Yeah.
And the other big issue that we're focusing on right now is energy. I had a 4-hour energy committee meeting earlier today. It was our third committee meeting this week.
4 hours.
On that issue. We did an energy rewrite back in 2008, and so we're due up again for Michigan to take a look at our energy portfolio, if you will. And so one of the biggest issues that we're trying to address is, we have these federal regulations come down and say we need to move away from coal. We have to, move towards renewable energy sources, cleaner sources of energy.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. In the meantime, however, when you start shutting down these coal plants, you still need to get that generation from somewhere. It's not like you need less energy. You just want to get it in a cleaner way or a more renewable way. And so,
not to mention the jobs affected too.
Big time. You look at how many parts go into one windmill alone. That it really is a huge job creator.
Yeah, right.
And so we're trying to hammer out the specifics of that. And what I've tried to do is, there's so many different fronts that you could fight on with any issue, particularly energy. And I'm of the belief that, if you fight on every single front, you're probably going to lose on every single front. So, what are the 2, 3, 4, 5 things, that I can hammer home and sort of put into my wheelhouse and keep in my radar in order to move forward and try to be successful. And so, renewable energy obviously has been one at the forefront for me. The energy optimization, the new light bulbs, and now,
LEDs.
we talk about it within the confines of our homes, but some of these big businesses, energy optimization is a huge issue for them too, and a huge cost savings for them.
Well, like
too.
Garden City is changing all their streetlights to
Big time.
LEDs.
Big time.
The big savings.
And so, in the last one, which is really in many ways the most interesting, is the issue of solar. And, for me, this is a huge priority. It's something that I think we need to maintain at a minimum here in the state, expand if we can. The way it works right now, if you put a solar panel on your house, and you got to think, this is one of those weird intersections. I've talked in the past about, how politics isn't linear, right? It's a circle. And at some point, the far left and the far right, meet on things. Yeah. Marijuana is one of them. Solar energy is another one. And so, in committee, you'll have me on the Democratic side and a guy named Mike Shirkey on the Republican side, and we're both, trying to hammer this home. The way it works right now, it's not cheap to put the solar panels on your house or to make that investment, but you do it based upon a calculation of what you're going to save.
Long term.
Bingo.
Yeah. And,
okay, I'll make this investment now. In 5 years, it's paid off, and then I start reaping the benefits. And so, this is an individual decision, so is in keeping with sort of these tenets of, freedom and prosperity of some of my colleagues and, of clean, renewable energy in my wheelhouse. And the way it works is, you capture the sun's rays on that panel, you use whatever you need, and then you sell the excess to back to the energy company, if you will, at a retail rate. Okay. And so, when you sell that energy back, it's really just going to go to your neighbor next door or somebody down the street, okay? Yeah. And so the first draft of the bill came back, and they said, you know what? It's not fair for us to pay you the retail rate, us being the utility, because you don't have to cover T&D costs, we call them, transmission and distribution costs. Oh, yeah. And we came back and said, what, that sounds fair. So what they're saying is you can take all the energy that you create, use whatever you need first, and then you sell the excess to the utility at the wholesale rate. And everybody said, that's fair. We can take that. Yeah. Well, then the next draft of the bill came out.
Oh, boy.
The next draft of the bill said any energy that you create on your solar panel, you have to sell it all first to the utility at the wholesale rate. And then whatever you buy back from the utility is at the retail rate.
Oh.
So it completely takes away any incentive.
Any incentive, right.
To make that type of investment and to go that route. And so
I wonder who came up with that.
Yeah, I wonder who came up with that. So, it's a
holy cow.
Wow. It's an ongoing fight, an ongoing battle. What I will say is, we're not at a point where I think we're done. But it is another one of those rare circumstances where you do have people that are willing to sit down at a table and have a conversation.
Well,
so
that's,
you can get DTE and you can get the League of Conservation voters down at the same table and have the conversation. And, you'll disagree. You'll find places where you can agree. You can find places where you can move on the issues. And so we're really just in the heat of
Sorry.
of that conversation right now. You're a popular guy. That's okay.
Jeez. They know that I do my show this time.
Right.
Probably marketers.
So that's really the hot and heavy stuff. We had another hearing today. This is the thing. I'm on 7 different committees, right? So I have to leave committee to go to another committee, then go back to the original committee. And so that's what we had today. I had to leave Energy and Tech to go to Military and Vets. We did a hearing on.
How those veterans doing?
It's not going to be an easy fix. In fact, as I was sitting here, the new director of Military and Veterans Affairs just shot me a text message. So 8:24 on a Thursday night, something's going on that we need to talk about.
Are they going to do funding of that, or increase the funding of that veterans facility that was so badly?
I think that they're probably going to be looking for.
understaffed
I think they're going to be looking for a short-term fix in some ways, but I think that a larger conversation needs to be had about how are we delivering services to our veterans.
Yeah.
And I'm one of these guys where nothing is ever good enough when it comes to what you're going to do or how the outreach is going to look. Just because I always want it to be better, particularly with the veterans population.
Right.
One of the things that we learned the other day that was really disturbing to me is we've got 660,000 veterans in Michigan. We know because of
That's a lot.
the 11th largest population in the country.
Wow.
And I said to the department, we get in these fights all the time. They'll come to me. 2 years ago, they said, we served 350,000 veterans this year. So that's interesting. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't hear from you. So maybe I'm in the other, the other group.
310,000.
And then the second year they came in front of the committee because I'm on military and vets. I'm policy and appropriations, so they got me on both sides.
Wow.
They said this year we served another 350,000. I said, well, that's 700,000 now, and I still haven't heard from you. So you must be missing at least one. And so I said to them, we've got these 660,000 veterans. How many of them do we actually know?
Right.
Who they are, where they are, what the address is, phone number, email, whatever it is, to be able to push information and resources out to them.
Yeah.
And I asked that question because I had heard another statistic a week or so prior. When we launched that veterans designation on our driver's licenses
I
here
have
in Michigan,
it. Yep.
I got the same one.
Yep.
35,000 veterans that we previously did not know who they were, where they were, came out of the woodwork with their DD-214. They wanted the veterans designation on their driver's license. So now we know Cary Parton, Catherine Street, Garden City, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
35,000 that we didn't previously know who
That's
they
a
were.
lot.
So that's a lot to not know
Yeah.
where they are.
Really?
I said, so of the 660,000, how do you calculate who we're serving? And the answer they gave was, well, we serve 350,000. I said, yeah, but how do you quantify that number?
Right.
How you quantify that is very important.
Yeah, where do you come up
They
with
said,
that?
well, we had 60,000 people come to our website. I said, well, what'd they do there? They said, well, we don't know. I said, well, that don't count then. They said, well,
And they were counting that just because they clicked the website?
Just wait. It's going to get far worse.
Oh, no.
Give me one more minute.
No.
They said we had 3,000 people come to a job fair. I said, that's great. How many people got jobs? We don't know.
Oh, my
I
God.
said, that don't count. And I swear on my mother's life, in committee, they said, well, we had a Facebook status and it got 100 likes, and so that's 100.
Are you serious?
I said that.
That's pitiful.
It is.
That is pitiful.
The total number of veterans in Michigan, 660,000. We only know where 200,000 of them are. 460,000 of them, no clue.
Well, you know who would love to? It just popped in my head, Troy.
Oh, I know.
Oh, my God.
I was talking to Troy this morning, too.
Oh, you'd go crazy.
And so, I mean, it's so ridiculous.
It is.
I had a meeting with Genesis Health System 2
Okay.
days ago, I think. They're based out of Flint. They're trying to recreate some veteran stuff. And I think that's good because when you look at some of the public systems, the VA or what have you, they've done such a miserable job, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The way I think it should work, and this is just my little brain, you serve in the military, you come out, here's your card. You're a veteran, go get it. Go get your health care wherever you want it.
Exactly.
Send us the bill.
Oh, I agree.
Send us the
Totally.
bill. Now that's an
Wouldn't that
interesting-
simplify it?
It's a public-private sort of partnership at that point.
Yeah.
Right. Veterans are going to be driven by quality at that point. And I spoke to some of the hospital systems around here, DMC, Henry Ford, Beaumont. I mean, how quickly does the veterans wing of your hospital get stood up when you've got 660,000 brand new patients that you can serve?
Right.
Guaranteed rate of reimbursement
Yes.
for whatever services you're
Yeah,
providing.
guaranteed.
We don't have Medicaid-specific hospitals. We don't have Medicare-specific hospitals. We've got veteran-specific hospitals whose intention was supposed to be to give a higher quality and higher standard of care to the veterans, but we failed.
Yeah.
And so, Genesis
In
is
the
trying
waiting
to do-
period, it's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
it's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Well,
Guys are dying waiting to see a doctor.
This is
That's the sad part.
A precedent that was set by President Obama recently was if you are having to wait 30 days or more for your appointment, or you live more than 40 miles outside the radius of a VA facility, you get a card and you can go see a private healthcare provider, and they send the bill to the federal government.
Seriously, I don't
So
know
to
if a lot of
me,
people know that.
We're trying to get the word out there for
Yeah.
some folks. Now, the thing is, it's not a crazy high number of people that actually live outside
Yeah,
the
yeah.
radius. But to me, that is almost a litmus test to see, does that
Exactly.
type of system work?
Yeah.
And CMS, the Center for Medicaid and Medicare Studies, the VA is moving some of their responsibilities and roles over to CMS this year, which is sort of another red flag, not red flag in this case, just another flag to us that maybe we are kind of moving towards this public-private partnership model.
Wow, that would be fantastic.
Genesis, health system shared with me this week. We measure a lot of things about what we do for the veterans, and then also what the veterans are missing out on simply because they don't know. The Genesis Health System has created a standard of care for Vietnam-era veterans called presumptive healthcare, meaning we have this for firefighters. If you're
Okay.
a firefighter and you get cancer, we can reasonably presume that whatever
It
cancer
was-
you got was as a result of you serving as a firefighter.
Okay.
Genesis has this presumptive health care that says if you were in Vietnam, if you were exposed to Agent Orange, and 5, 10, 15 years down the road, you get some type of cancer, it can be reasonably presumed that that cancer was, I don't want to say it was received as a result of your time spent in Vietnam.
Right.
And so they give them the care that they think that they deserve. Genesis believes that there is over $800 million in healthcare benefits that are unclaimed just in Michigan every year by Vietnam-era veterans. Veterans who, they would bring you in to Genesis, sit you down. What's the situation? What's the condition? You qualify for one of these 12 diseases. Boom, you're getting the pension, $1,200 a month.
Oh my gosh,
For a lot of these guys that just have no clue.
800 million.
$800 million that they think goes unclaimed every year, just here in Michigan. And so we were speaking with Genesis. That was a really long, roundabout way of getting to my point of, we've got the Grand Rapids Home for Veterans,
Right.
which is a hardened structure. It was built
Old.
for 700. It's from the 1800s. I mean, literally,
That is-
1880s.
That's crazy.
Built with 700 beds. Now I think they're around 350, 400 beds.
Okay.
Big, huge, monstrous structures, very difficult to manage. And so you've got that model, and then you've got a new model that's become popular in the past couple of years called PACE. And a PACE program, if you qualify for it, the goal is to recognize that when somebody stays in their home and in their community and within a certain radius of their family, their healthcare outcomes are better.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Right.
As opposed to picking you
Yeah.
up and moving you somewhere else. in town.
Exactly. Makes sense. Yeah.
Well, the worst things about the Grand Rapids Home for Veterans, let's say there's 400 people out there. I believe it's about 200 of them are from southeastern Michigan.
Oh wow.
So, one, they're
wait,
taking up beds for folks on the west side of the state, and two, they're 3 hours away from
Yeah,
their
their
loved
family,
ones.
yeah.
We met guys out there that hadn't seen their wives in 3 years just because,
Oh,
the wives are
seriously?
older, can't
Wow.
make the trip, can't have the money to spend overnight. And so the PACE program, let's say you're in it, Kerry.
Mm-hmm.
You're living here on Catherine Street. Every morning, the PACE program has a little fleet of buses, goes out, picks you up at your house, brings
Takes
you in. You're getting your checkups, you're getting your food, you're getting your health care, you're getting your exercise,
Wow.
whatever else it is. Lunch or breakfast, lunch. Here's a hot meal to go for dinner. We're going to take you right back to your house.
So
And
they
that's where you're
shuttle
gonna-
you back and forth, no problem.
And you're gonna watch your Jeopardy at night, and you're gonna go to bed at 7:30. And
Now, how
we're gonna
often
pick
is
you up in
that?
the
I
morning.
mean,
every day.
Every day, 7
Every day.
days.
Every day.
Wow, that's
And-
awesome.
And so
Is this the one that you were on board with trying to get
That's what we're trying to
on
do
this
right
side
now.
of the state?
Well, the thing that's interesting about PACE is, so if I wanted to build a facility like Grand Rapids, let's say, so it used to be 700 beds. The model now is 150 beds tops is what
Yeah,
they want to do.
it's
way
more manageable. I mean,
I could build a facility from the ground up like Grand Rapids for 150 beds, where you're living there full time, you're quartered there, domiciliary care, the whole 9 yards. $30 million to do it. If I build a ground up facility for that PACE model, it's $6 million. So I can do 5 times the number of PACE facilities as I could for one sort of hardened structure. if you've got an existing structure already in place that you're just going to convert to be a PACE facility, it's only $3 million.
So would there
you
be any
can-
beds at all in the PACE facility, or are these strictly people that are at home?
So the goal is, I mean, your bed's at home. They want you
Right.
to go home every night. They want you to be close to
Okay.
your family. And so instead of having
And you
know,
do
this-
better at
this-
home, I mean.
yeah, instead of having this huge state with one home down here and one home up here, you've got 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 different facilities dotting the entire
So
state.
say I go to a PACE facility and they find something seriously wrong with me. What do they
Mm-hmm.
do with me?
I mean, at that point, it'd be the same as any other sort of nursing home
I could-
care. So
Oh.
you could receive it there. You could go to a hospital. The whole
Oh,
nine yards.
okay.
Yeah, and
Wow.
so I mean that's the thing. It's far more flexible.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge shift in the
More
model and
veteran
the
friendly
thinking.
and family friendly, too.
Well, that's again
Big
that's,
time.
that's the big thing. You stay close to the family, the friends, and you're staying in the house that
Yes.
your house is
And everybody does better at home, let's face it. I
big
mean,
time, big time.
wow, that's
So
awesome.
that's what we're working on, and it's one of those things where it looks like such a no-brainer. I mean, I've been talking about this for 4
Yep.
years now.
Yeah. I know it's a high priority with you.
Man,
Education,
but it's tough.
veterans, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough, but I mean, what's good now is that whether it's PACE or otherwise, people will tell you that they know we need one in southeastern Michigan.
Yeah.
We've got 100,000 veterans just in Wayne County. Of the 660,000 whole state, 100,000 are here in Wayne County.
yeah, we got to get to work on that.
Yeah, and so it's
time.
something that we're still working on. The good thing is there's some good partnerships to be had with the federal government on it. If the facility costs X amount of dollars,
Mm-hmm.
the day you turn the key to open it, the federal government will reimburse you 65%
wow.
of what the total costs were of construction.
Wow.
And so there's a lot
Incentives
of
are
interest.
there.
Yeah, there's a lot of
interest.
interest.
How would the PACE program affect homeless veterans?
That's a good question. I think that maybe it's two different conversations,
Yeah.
right? So the homeless issue is big for me. I think really just from a moral sort of
Yes.
perspective, where I think it sucks. That
Do we know
have-
roughly
have-
how many homeless veterans there are?
I think the estimates are of all the homeless population, 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 are homeless. And so I think in Michigan that comes
Too
out to
many.
maybe 15 to 20,000
Well, that's-
homeless veterans in Michigan.
that's
I could be
unacceptable,
wrong,
yeah.
but I think that's about it.
Wow.
And so
About a half a dozen of them outside Comerica Park.
yeah, and so I think that we're finally getting people to understand that we can address this veterans homelessness issue, and again use that as a model to eradicate homelessness entirely.
Yeah.
And so when you look at some of the states that have by and large eradicated veterans homelessness, Utah is one of them, North Carolina, cities like San Francisco, New Orleans that have done away with it. You go to these interviews and they say to the mayor or the governor, well, you had this homeless veterans population. How did you get rid of the homeless? And they say, well, we gave them a home. and folks are like,
Yeah.
well, what does that mean? And so, it's not a handout, right?
Right.
For the veterans, in so many cases, it really a hand up.
Yeah.
And helping them get access to, frankly, the services
They've earned it.
that they've deserved and that they've
God.
earned. And what's so interesting about this is, I try to come at this, personally from the moral angle, what I think is the right thing to do. There's also a fiscal argument to be made here too.
Mm-hmm.
If you're homeless on the streets and you're looking for a warm meal or whatever you want to do, and you want to go make a little petty crime or whatever, go to prison, go to jail,
Yeah.
whatever it is, we spend on the homeless population, on any one homeless individual, roughly about $40,000 per year.
Wow.
They go into the hospital. We have to treat them.
Wow.
Uncompensated care that gets spread among each and every one of us to foot the bill. If they're going into our prisons for a year, that's $36,000 a year that we're spending on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
We could spend $10,000, $20,000 to get them into a housing facility,
Yeah.
give them the help, give them the training, get them back out into the workforce,
Right.
get them back on their
Right.
feet.
Get them up on their feet.
Spend 10 or 20,000, or spend 30 or 40,000. It's up to you.
No brainer.
Yeah,
Well,
and so
from a moral standpoint, it's obvious.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Just getting back to energy, where does Michigan stand on fracking?
Michigan, I'd say, is kind of a gray area right now.
Yeah.
We don't have a Department of Environmental Quality that has very much trust of anybody right now.
Oh, I can't understand why.
The rules are the rules are a little fast and loose.
Yeah.
And so the way it's set up right now, I'll give you an example of drilling that's proposed right now in Southfield. There's a church
At that church?
in
Yes.
Southfield.
Yes. I was just going to bring that up.
A church in
Whatever happened
Southfield.
with that?
So the way that the rules are set up, instead of saying if you don't meet these criteria, you can't drill. It's if you meet these criteria, we can't deny you your application. That sounds like a very insignificant difference, but it really is huge.
Yeah, it is. The wording is.
When they say, okay, you check this box, this box, this box, we as the DEQ can't deny you the ability to drill on that property. And so that's what's happening right now, that church in Southfield. They had a town hall meeting, a very good friend of mine, State Representative Jeremy Moss.
Packed.
He had a town hall meeting. They had over 1,000 people come.
Yeah.
You don't get, what do we get at coffee hours? 30 people tops?
Right.
They had 1,000 people come to this town hall meeting.
Now-
90% of them were opposed to it.
Okay, I was gonna
and
ask.
the department told them to their faces. They said, listen, we hear you. We cannot say no to them drilling on that property if they want to. And so it started with, folks want a moratorium until we know what some of the effects are.
And, do
particularly
we
in
actually
Michigan.
know enough about fracking, really? I mean,
I think
is it
both.
safe? Is it
It
not?
depends who you ask, right?
Yeah.
Some folks will tell you we've been doing it for a long time. It's been safe. And I'll tell you in Michigan, believe this or not, there's over 10,000 fracking wells in Michigan.
Serious?
And so it's all
Boy, isn't
along,
that something you don't know
all
about?
10,000 of them almost are along this strip of the
Upper UP.
upper lower peninsula.
Upper lower.
They've been doing it for a long time, but you see stories and you see the negative impacts
Yeah.
elsewhere across the country. So you've got people that say we need an immediate moratorium, no more until we know more. You've got folks that say it's safe, we've been doing it for years, let's keep doing it. Then you've got folks in the middle who are trying to figure out the truth. And so, particularly in this day and age, I think it's smart to err on the side of caution.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you just don't know enough about it yet.
Yeah, and,
Really?
and if not just for that, but for the fact that what's in that water, it's now going into our groundwater system, polluting the groundwater system.
Heaven
What does that
forbid we
mean
don't
for
need
everybody?
any more water issues.
Yeah, the governor doesn't need any more either, believe me.
Yeah. So how's he doing? Is he drinking the water or the 30 days?
You know
Does he
what?
seem to be a little...
I was disappointed, so you probably saw this.
Yeah.
Now listen, my calendar on any given day is booked a month to 2 months in advance.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
if
I
you
know
were to
for a
ask-
fact it is.
So Mike asked me someday. He goes, end of May, we got an event. Are you open? I
Yeah.
can look at my calendar. I see I'm booked that day. I got an opening here. Okay, we'll squeeze it in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you're doing a month ahead of time.
Yep.
So the governor takes his pledge. I'm not going to do anything but drink Flint water for a month. And then a week later, he gets on a plane and he goes to Europe. I can't bring the water with me. So sorry. Too bad. So sad. He knew he was going to Flint. He
So-
knew, or he was going to Europe. He knew what he was doing.
So these
He knew
days
his
he's in
timing.
Europe is towards the 30 days probably.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's looking for.
So he'll come back, well, I only got
Yeah.
5 days to drink that water.
Yeah. Oh, sorry guys. So
Isn't that crazy?
you know,
Oh, my
you got
God.
President Obama. President Obama coming to Flint next week.
Yeah, because
Governor's
that little
not going.
girl's letter.
The governor's not
believe
going to
it?
meet him.
Are you serious?
Governor's not going to meet him. Now, Governor Christie, for all of his shortcomings,
Yeah.
when they had that disaster,
Exactly.
the president
Was right there.
The president shows up. It don't matter your party. He's the president.
Exactly.
You
That's
show
the
up and you greet
respect
him.
you give him.
I feel that same way about Obama as I do George W. Bush. That's really, I think, just our military mentality, right? You
Yeah,
respect
it
the
is.
position,
Right.
Even if you don't like
You're
the
right.
person.
Absolutely.
You got the president of the United States coming to your state.
That
and he's
is
going to
really
snub him.
low.
He's
What's he
gonna
doing in
snub him.
Europe? Do we know?
I
for a
know
house?
he's got he's got a couple, I think, economic development things he's trying to do. I know he's stopping at one event in Germany that a friend of mine is at, believe it or not. But I think it's just sort of your generic.
So these three that were indicted or whatever, just fall guys, right?
I think that's just the beginning.
Yeah.
That's not good enough.
No.
Not good enough. For
Not
the
even
public.
near.
And those guys, it's easy to pass the buck on to, some, I don't want to say low level because that sounds, disrespectful, but,
Well,
from some
it's not your
lower
upper level.
So from some guys at the department,
Yeah.
Believe me, those guys had some wrongdoing along the way. We know that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to stop with
But
that.
they're not the movers and shakers that should be
Oh no.
answering.
People knew.
So how is the water getting? Is it getting any better in Flint? Do we know? Or?
You got a Speaker of the House who just said the other week, not another penny to Flint. I don't care what they need. Not another penny to Flint.
Yeah,
That's the mentality of
They're
this
telling them that
legislature.
they're not using the water enough now to flush the systems out.
Isn't
They
that
want them to start
ridiculous?
flushing.
Yeah.
And then they'll start being charged for their water.
Yeah.
For water that's still poison.
Some,
Jesus.
we passed, here's the thing. I mean, we are passing some money. We are doing some things. I don't think it's enough.
No.
Until those pipes are replaced, I don't think that we're in a good spot.
And now there's other communities that are talking about letting their water and stuff.
Well, we had a bunch of schools in Detroit.
Schools,
Public schools
yep.
test positive. 19 schools the other day. A couple were in my district.
What's the latest in DPS? Going all right?
Legislation's in the House. We're working it, man. We're working it. I want it resolved. I mean, we really don't have an option. Something has to be done.
Mm-hmm.
The question is the House gonna take action moving forward to make sure that we can get it addressed? So I'm proud of the product that we got out of the Senate. It was the product of compromise. It's not a 4-letter word, I think, and we got a much better bill package as a result. As I said on previous shows, it's a 6-bill package. 4 of them were written by
Right.
a guy named Jeff Hansen from the West Side of the state. 2 of them were written by myself. And so, we're trying to work with the House to address whatever issues and concerns they have. Because, again, time is of the essence here. The school year is coming up to a close.
Yeah.
And we need to have a plan in place going into, the 2016-17 school year.
So do they have enough money to pay the teachers to the end of
They've
the
got
year?
enough to get through the end of the year. We passed the supplemental. I think it was about $47 million the other day to get them through the end of the year. The other issue that I keep pushing, and I did a procedural move. This is really inside baseball. If you've got a bill in committee for a long time and you're not going to get a hearing on it, you can go to the floor of the Senate and request a discharge of that bill to the floor to bring it up for an immediate vote.
Oh,
so
okay.
Today I asked for a discharge of my bill to repeal the emergency manager law. In the
I
state
know
of
you. I know you've really been all over that.
Yeah, folks
And
aren't
it's not
happy
going
that I'm all
nowhere.
over it. I
Yeah,
like that.
well,
you got to ruffle
too
a few
bad.
feathers. So
Yeah.
it's was prompted by every week it's like we get another story of how these emergency managers
It's a
are screwing
nightmare.
up somewhere.
Yeah.
And the most recent one was Darnell Early when he was in charge at DPS. You've got your teachers, you've got contract workers, you've got grant employees, so people who are working in your schools as a result of a grant application.
Yep.
Well, the federal government sent $30 million to Detroit Public Schools to help cover the pensions of the grant employees that were working in the school system at the time.
Right.
What happened to it?
Well, if I was Darnell Early, if I was a responsible person running the show, I would have taken the $30 million and I would have put it towards the pensions. Darnell took it, and we got no clue where it's at. Yeah. We got no clue.
Seriously.
$30 million, gone. So
Well, now who's going to be held accountable for that?
Well, Darnell's packed his things and
Yeah,
hauled
where's
his
he?
butt out of
Nobody
town.
probably knows where he is either, right?
Might be in Europe too. might be in Europe. So
Circling the wagons.
yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Who was the guy that wants us to pay his legal bills? $75,000 or something?
Darnell Early.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants it.
Yeah, well, the governor, we're going to pay all his.
Yeah.
People aren't happy about that either.
Well, they shouldn't be.
No.
It's really just a very interesting conflict of interest, in my opinion.
Yes,
where
it is.
We're paying the governor to defend him from like himself. Like,
Seriously?
Yeah, it's really strange. It's really strange. And like the attorney general is getting all this money to do investigations. I mean, I don't trust Bill Schuette as far as I can
hell
throw him.
No.
Hell
And
no.
I really wouldn't want to get that
Buddy,
close
buddy.
to Bill Schuette. So,
No.
believe it or not, they're not buddy buddy. They
Seriously?
don't like each other.
That's hard to believe.
What I was I wouldn't put it past. So Schuette is like the consummate politician.
Yeah.
I tell folks, Bill Schuette won't fart unless he knows the political ramifications of it. Like if he could gain votes from it, he's going to go do it. And if he could lose votes from it, he's going to walk away, in private. And that's how he's so calculated. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if he could calculate some way to take down Snyder in order to advance himself and his own agenda.
Oh, I believe that.
he'd do
No,
it.
I do believe that.
He'd do
Yeah,
it.
he's got his eyes on the governor.
Oh, yeah, he's
Governor
running.
job.
He's running.
Absolutely.
His head's in the ring.
He's running. Him and Callie and a few others.
Oh, yeah,
maybe.
Callie, yeah. Well, you've worked with Callie, though, quite a bit, haven't you?
I've got nothing bad to say about the lieutenant governor. We don't agree on the issues, but in terms of somebody you can work with, he's a great guy to work with. He said something that really hit hard the other day for me because when we work on disabled veterans issues, the lieutenant governor is passionate on disability issues because he has a
Autism.
daughter with autism.
Yes.
And this is going to sound so simple, but I thought it was so profound when he was talking about his daughter with autism. She's immediately identified by having autism, and there he is, an able-bodied person.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I'm good at this, I'm good at that. I really suck at and he listed off a litany of things he's terrible at. He goes, but what a luxury that the first thing that I'm identified by is the things that I can do or the things that I have done. And how unfortunate that the first thing my daughter is identified by is what she can't do or what she can't or has not done. And I thought that was just really powerful.
Yeah, that was.
And
that is.
it really hit home.
Yeah.
Really, what a luxury. And how unfortunate it would be if we treated everybody that way.
Yeah,
Instead of
exactly.
knowing, hey, Carrie's got a great show. Well, Carrie can't do this. Carrie can't do that. And that's immediately how we identify you. So he's been a great advocate on those issues.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome.
And a good partner on a lot of stuff. So I got nothing bad to say about him.
Yeah.
Maybe come election time I might.
Yeah, you never know. I know you're not involved too much in the county, but just wanted to get your thoughts on what do you think about the soccer stadium going in with.
That was one of the best political moves I've seen in a long time.
Wasn't that crazy?
One of the best political moves. I'll tell you
Take
why.
over the now. Do you know what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Taking
they're
over
gonna
the
build
old jail site?
Yeah.
Now, me personally, I don't like that jail site.
No,
I like.
and they're right. It is a gateway to the city. And
I
what's
like-
the first
I
thing
like-
you see?
I like the concept because you want the jail to be close to the courts. It has to be.
Yeah, I get that.
But okay, if that's the situation, don't bring the jail downtown. Move the courts, somewhere else.
Yeah.
This is downtown. This is supposed to be
Yes.
the hub. It's supposed to be sexy.
Right.
If you want to come down,
Entertainment
I'm not crazy about
area.
that location. Now, here's what I know. Here's
Okay.
what I know.
Okay.
I know that Dan Gilbert wanted that property.
Oh, big time.
I know that Dan Gilbert.
He made him a low ball offer a
Bingo.
long time
Bingo.
ago.
Bingo.
Low ball.
So the county wants more money than Dan Gilbert was willing to pay.
Yep.
And so instead of paying more money, now Dan Gilbert is going to try and outflank him and say, well, I'm getting ready with Tom Gores to bring you guys a major league soccer team.
Yep.
So he's going to force the county to say
Force their hand.
no.
Yep.
And if the county says no, I mean, what backlash
Oh,
will come in?
huge.
I will tell you. People that I know who are sort of in that bubble and know what's going on, they might disagree with what Dan Gilbert did, but they respect the political power play. It was a power move.
He knows
I'm telling
exactly
you.
what he's doing.
It was a power
Yeah.
move.
Him and Gore both.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Power move. And so
I like it.
I think it'd be great. I think
I
it'd be
do too.
great. I tell you what I don't like. Little Caesars Arena.
Oh, my God.
my God.
You and about 10,000 other people today on
$1,000 a year
Facebook.
for 20 years,
I mean, I get it.
Yeah,
but
I do too.
You're going the same route as every other arena in the league, where you're
Yep.
naming it after something.
Target, Comerica.
Do. I mean, pick a great hockey.
Well, they are.
Yeah.
The bridge.
Yeah.
They're going to name that.
Okay, so let's pretend there was no bridge. Gordie Howe Arena presented by Little Caesar. I mean, you can
Exactly.
figure it out. And
I
so,
know. Bob Probert.
Yeah.
Give them sponsorship credit. I love that, but it's
Yeah.
Tiger Stadium, sponsored by Co-America, not Co-America.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah, that is a terrible, terrible name.
I really liked all the funny things that
Yeah, Kramus.
people are trying to like.
Did you see
I
Kevin?
didn't see Kramus's.
What was it he said?
Well, I saw some.
What will
people-
they call the lower bowl or something? Deep dish pizza or
Oh,
something?
I didn't see that. That's funny. Well, so all these people are getting out there and they're like just to make it sound like more badass, like the Little Caesars Coliseum.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that sounds kind of
Or
cool.
LC.
Yeah.
LC
Well, I like
Arena.
I like the Little Caesars Pizza Arena.
Little Caesar pizza.
That's funny.
Pizza Arena.
That is good. That is good. Yeah, I like that.
So, I'm not crazy about it. But
No,
here's the
I'm not
deal.
either.
They're
I mean,
going
I
to get my
get it.
money. I'm going to go watch the games. They're going to get my money.
Hey,
So
it's
I guess
his-
they win in the end.
It's his money too, so I
yeah.
guess he can name it whatever he wants.
Well, and he's given so much to the city.
really
and,
has.
And I really appreciated folks pointing out today. I mean, what a tiny little business that was started right here.
Right here in Garden
They would have
City,
been a member
number
of the
one.
Business Alliance if we were around.
Yes,
back in the
exactly.
day. They would have.
Exactly.
And look what he's grown it into. I mean, he's a great partner for the city. The
He is.
villages are great.
Yeah, they are. All right, well, moving on. I know you got an event over
I
in
got to
Ann
go
Arbor,
to Ann
right?
Arbor tonight.
Yeah, Ann Arbor.
Yeah,
yeah.
we're not done today.
You want to talk about your coffee hour?
Coffee hour is second Monday of the month. Do you have the flyer over there? I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah,
I
we
don't-
usually mention
I don't
it,
want to.
too.
Screw it up. So I'm going to ask Mr. Jones for it.
Mr. Jones, yeah. You got a lovely daughter.
Here we go. Second Monday of the month. That's going to be on May 9th. We're going to be at the Garden City Maplewood Senior Center from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m.
Yep.
We look forward to it.
Yeah, you've had some good turnouts. And Glenn Anderson is there, and Julie Pulwicki.
Julie will be there. Glenn Anderson's always there. We just had to keep it consistent.
I'll be in Stonehenge.
Will you really?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Okay, Mike,
I like that.
you've told us like 20 times
Yeah, keep
already,
rubbing
right?
it in. 21. He wants 21.
Yeah, well,
so if folks are available, come on by the coffee. I would love to have you. I'm going to be at the garage facility this Saturday for their grand opening. Excited about that.
yep, we'll be there with you.
And just signed up for the bacon run. So,
Oh, did you? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so
that's
if you want to
coming up.
come make fun of me as I'm panting and dying coming across the finish line.
Yeah, that's going to be a big deal. That'll be kind of cool too.
Yeah, we're excited. I know that we're sponsoring one of the I think hydration stations, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I also volunteered to. What was funny is so I paid the money to sponsor the hydration station, and then I went and signed up to run the race.
Yeah.
And then my staff said, "Well, you get one entry into the race for sponsoring the hydration station." I said, "Well,
Oh, for God's
whatever. They can keep the money. It's
Yeah,
okay. It's
yeah,
okay."
they're good. They're good for it.
Yeah.
yeah. All right, well, sounds good. Hey, I know you got to run. Appreciate you coming on as
My
always.
pleasure.
You know
My
that.
pleasure. My pleasure.
Anytime. End of the month.
Careful what you wish for.
Last Thursday of the month, right?
Right, yeah,
Or
we'll be here.
if not before.
Right. All right, guys. Thanks so much.
All right, Senator. Take care.
Yep.
Thank you.
Hey, pleasure to meet you. Yeah, I'd like to talk to you, David.
Wave bye to your fans. All right, take care, bud. All right. We want to remind all residents that the next regular city council meeting will be held on Monday, May 2nd at 7 p.m. in the council chambers located at 6000 Middlebelt Road. They urge all residents to attend.
They're going to be presenting the budget.
Yeah, I think the budget's going to be, yeah, you're right. I think that is the meeting they're going to be doing it. I think Don's going to be there too, maybe, possibly. Monday? You going to be there at the council, or are you going to wait?
Kim's
Couple
going to
weeks.
arrange it. It might be a couple of weeks after that.
Okay.
It was a little too late to get on this.
Yeah, we'll get you in there. All right, well, let me welcome back to the show Mr. Don Wakefield. Don, welcome.
Hello.
How you doing?
Doing
How
well.
you doing? How you doing? Well, I look back. You were on the show September of 2015, and at that time you were discussing the possibilities of putting an art center on the old site of the Hawthorne Valley, near Merriman and Warren and Westland. Now, since then, a lot has happened. Lots transpired. First, before we announce the potential garden
Oh, wait a
city.
minute. There has been a lot?
Well, I mean,
There's been a little.
I mean, yeah, the Garden City potential plans I want to announce, but you're going to give us an update on Westland first. What have you heard there?
Sure. Well, we, along with Dave Miller, good friend of mine and partner on the project, we met with the mayor, Councilman Godbout, and some of the staffers for the city of Westland, and had a great conversation. Councilman Godbout was very supportive of bringing this to Westland. And so since then, a few weeks after that, we had an architect, Scott Catello, Westland resident, works for a big firm in Detroit. And him and Dave and I went through the building with another friend, and it's actually not in bad shape. It looks a lot worse when you walk through it because the ceilings are down and some of the copper's been stripped out.
Right.
But for
But
our
you can look
purposes,
past that.
Yeah, it's easy to look. Clear in my head. I can look at a room and clear it out. That's not the big challenge. There may be some structural issues down the line as we get into the walls and the ceilings and all that a little bit more. And it doesn't have an elevator. It's multiple levels, so there's a lot of issues, and it'll probably be a several-year project. But it does have the sculpture garden space, which I'm really excited about, and that could really start up relatively inexpensive and give us a place to walk, see some artwork as we're developing the plans for the clubhouse. And the clubhouse was listed as something like 28,000 square feet or something like that. It's way bigger. I think it had quite a few additions that maybe weren't.
Now, this is just the front half of the
permitted for-
property, right?
Right. What Westland owns is approximately 14.5 acres of the total 59 acres that is there.
Wow, 59, eh?
Which includes the clubhouse, the parking lot, and one house that recently burned down. And then there's another house a little back off the parking lot that
Right.
burned down too.
Right.
And
Yeah, it's.
and then so it's sort of a mess right now, but it has great potential.
But a lot of it is in the flood stage area, right? So that would be
course
undeveloped.
itself, not the clubhouse or the parking lot.
course.
That's all fine. But yeah, a lot of it is in a floodplain.
Mm-hmm.
But there are hilly areas throughout it, and I think we could creatively get a pathway through there and have sheltered areas out there, temporary structures. To,
Right.
People could get out of the sun. with the rain.
So basically, where do you stand with Westland? I mean, does it look possible?
Yeah.
Are they dragging their feet?
Well, I think they've been very cautious. I think at first, too, they might have thought I was just some guy from California that wanted to come here and take their land.
Which makes sense. I mean,
But, Councilman Mike Kier.
and then they're worried about financial
the money,
too.
yeah. But, and let's talk about that, too. But,
Yeah.
When the plan was first brought to the city, it was through Councilman Mike Kier. I sent all of them a plan and some concepts. And, I mentioned I was from Westland. I grew up here as a kid. I was
Yep.
born in Detroit, but from kindergarten to, 12th grade, I've been in Westland the whole time. But like many people, I in the creative field, there wasn't much going on here. So
Right.
it was New York or California, and I chose the good weather state.
Especially today.
Yeah. So, I do miss the weather. But, great friends here, and I've been spending a lot more time in Michigan than California. So I'm really serious about bringing the arts here. It's an underserved area, the arts. All of Metro Detroit really is, compared to a lot of other great communities. And I think we can do a really great job here. So I'm meeting with the mayor and some of the staffers next week. They'll see the current proposal that we have for the site. Hopefully we'll have some of the information from the architect by then. And then we'll take it another step at a time. But funding for something like this, it's always grassroots. It's nice to think that somebody would come in with, $10 million and bam, it's all paid for. But
That happens in the movies.
yeah, that's right. It's not a real reality in most cases. And in this, I don't think it will be. I don't know anybody that has $10 million that I'm close friends with.
Yeah.
So,
Me neither. Mike might. I don't know. He might. He's met a lot of people at Comerica.
You said $10?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just see. It's you got to, for something like this to come to fruition, you have to have the community support, and you have to have the community leaders reach out on behalf of that. Not like we're one team and they're a different team. We all have to work together. And I think they're starting to look at it now. At least I hope they are. It seems like they are.
Okay.
But
So
in the
that-
meantime,
So that's Westland.
I'm out talking to people about that project, and
This leads us to Garden City. Now
Yes, it does.
Yeah, the plans in Garden City. I'm telling you, it's exciting. A lot of people are really excited about this. So why don't you go ahead and talk about that now and announce that
well, it's funny
for
because
those that don't know.
last time when I was here, on your show,
Right.
and you and Richard LeBlanc, who's now the city clerk for Westland, introducing me to other people, and so I spoke at the Kiwanis Club, and there I met Kim
Dole.
the executive director, Dole of the.
And by the way, her and Teresa I saw at lunch today and wanted to say hi to you, she said.
Great gals. Yeah, well, so after meeting her, she said, we have this one building in Garden City downtown that I think you would find very interesting. It's like, okay, whatever. I've got a big project already going on, but
Right.
I eventually went over and looked at it, and I was really blown
Thank
away.
God you did, man.
The interior is very unique, architecturally speaking. It's only it looks like a two-story building from the outside, more or less, but there's like 5 different levels on the inside.
Very deceiving from the outside.
Very. Yeah. So you walk in and you get tickled. It's very pleasing to
Great
see
venue.
what could happen there with all the variety of levels. And so,
So you have a real vision for this building now.
hell yeah.
So go ahead and
I've
explain.
spent many full days walking it and,
Yep.
and becoming one with the building,
Yeah.
more or less.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and it still needs some help. I mean, it's got a new roof. It's structurally strong, but because of the age, it doesn't have an elevator, so we'll have to have a lift in for at least one thing. It had a flood in the basement at one time, but they had mold remediation and cleaned that up. But the bathrooms now need to be redone. The entire floors need redoing. And we'd like to have a rooftop garden. It's a great building
Oh,
for
my
that.
gosh.
And it's completely different than the Westland project because Westland is really a lot about the nature included with that and the sculpture garden.
And that's going to take a lot longer, too.
It will take longer.
You said
And-
that this is almost a turnkey operation because
Yeah,
it's basically
almost. I just say
cosmetic.
almost.
yeah, almost. But it's basically cosmetic and cleaning up, and I mean,
Yeah.
there is things,
The facades need
the mechanics are good
to
in
be,
it.
redone. The facade is pretty messy, and Kim and I were actually looking at it today, and it's like
Yeah.
when you look under the canopy and the entryway in the front, it's a little messy.
And parking.
Yeah, but it has parking.
Yeah.
You know, it has some parking behind it, and then Olin
Oren,
Jewelers,
yeah.
Oren, has the parking lot that I guess we'd be able to use, and the city has one across Ford Road.
Mm-hmm.
But they're so different because the traffic going by the Garden City property is
Great
just
location.
phenomenal. I mean, it's all glass in front of the building, so artists, architects, all the creative group of people that we'll be working with will have great exposure for the projects.
Mm-hmm.
And that was sort of one of my commitments. The Moose, I can't talk about all the details yet, but the Moose is very generous and trying to work it out to do something for the community, and I think our plan fits with their building. So we seem to work really well together, and we can come up with a really good plan.
Oh, yeah, I think it's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, we can have some art classes. We've got a friend in California, a really well-known artist, Michael Aschenbrenner, works mostly in glass. He's willing to donate his whole glass shop to us.
And you're talking local artists too, right? You're going to accept local artwork
yeah.
in there too, and hold
like to-
classes and
Yeah, we'd like to nurture the local artists as much as possible. I haven't met a lot of them.
yeah.
But we'll have a
Well, they may come
combination-
out of the woodwork now.
Oh, they might. That's
You
right.
know- you never
there's
know.
a lot of people that are really creative, but the say the galleries aren't here. You know, the art galleries, so you don't really get to meet a lot of these people who are really creative. And I think
Not
once
a
we have
real
a
lot.
little home base for them,
Yeah.
you know. But we'll have a variety of, at least the way I'm looking at it right now, contemporary and fine art. You know, some crazy stuff that isn't really for sale necessarily, but just to get your attention
Yeah.
and talk about art and think about it, and look at how art can be made with just about anything. You know,
Yeah.
it's not just painting, it's not just drawing, it's not just stone sculpture. It's
Well-
combining materials and having fun with it.
And that brings up your presentation that you had at the library that we went to, and it was pretty well attended too. Are you going to have any more of those, by the way?
Yeah,
Do you
we
think?
just talked about it, and we'll continue to work with the local community because they want to learn more, and there's a lot of questions being asked, and there's a good conversation. So, yeah.
But you did
pick it
that
up.
project there.
Yeah, we made a little piece of artwork.
Silicone, what was it?
Well, colored powder from
Chalk.
chalk.
Yeah, yeah.
But laying it out in a way
Squishing
that
it.
you don't see too often, and then
pretty
squishing
cool.
it with some silicone. It's hard to sort of explain, you know, without.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
visual.
just different stuff like that, you know. And then media, you want to get into media, video.
Yeah, we'd like to have video classes for video and editing because that's really everyone's taking pictures these days in video, but editing and doing some of the tricks of the trade, you know,
Right.
it's a little more challenging. And the layers of options when you start looking at editing can be sort of complicated.
Right.
But we'll try to make that simpler and put together either a production company or find maybe there's somebody out there that knows of a production company that would like to maybe work a deal out with us where they can, you know, work on their own projects, but also help teach people because
Well, you know,
what we want to do.
I mean, this is so great because this is actually going to be a destination for Garden City. You know, it's just going to bring other communities from all over, hopefully.
Yeah, right.
You know, and then you have a connection with the big Grand Rapids art festival, or what is it?
Yeah, well, the art prize.
Yeah, art prize. That's huge. I mean, that's just you
it's
can't see
huge.
that in one day.
400,000 people visit that in 3 weeks.
Wow.
So, and that's really phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal numbers for 3 weeks because even the DIA or even the Myers Gardens in Grand Rapids, they each get about 600,000 people a year, and that's really respectable. That's
And this is
great
3
business.
weeks.
And 400,000 in 3 weeks.
Wow.
If you live there,
That's
it's
mind-boggling.
hell.
Yeah, I can
because you can't
imagine.
get around. You're not going to go to the bar. You're not going to go to the restaurant.
No, it's just
crowded.
gridlock.
But what they
But
do
my
there,
gosh, I mean, the revenue for Grand Rapids, oh my gosh.
it's phenomenal.
And the
We would-
businesses, everybody's, it's a win-win for everybody.
exactly. We've got a different view of it, a different sort of program that we'll be doing on a much smaller scale in Garden City, but on a large scale in Westland. And that's the thing with Grand Rapids. You might have 1,500 artists.
Okay.
And they're all in different buildings throughout the whole city. So it sounds sort of cool, but the artists who are participating, a lot of times they're coming from far distances, and they're they're in a bank building down a hall to the left, and because everyone tries to participate, so you don't really get an easy viewing spot.
Yeah.
In town.
So they run out of real estate, kind of, too.
They do, but you can't even see 1,500 artists. Maybe if you were there for 4 or 5 days and you were jogging the whole thing or running around on a scooter, you could see them all. And so the artists that I know who have participated, if you're not in the museum, for example, and you're down the hall and around the corner, they're a little disappointed. So they're getting educated, knowing like, I wouldn't want to do this spot next year. Because they have two. They have the public gets the vote, and so the top prize on that is $200,000.
Wow,
and they have 3
that's serious
curators,
money.
3 judges, and whoever those 3 judges vote for, that person gets $200,000.
Wow.
Now last year, or was the year before, the people's vote and half the judges' vote went to a young artist out of Indiana, so she got $300,000 for the first prize, and there's a variety of other prizes that go along with that. So what they're doing, it is fantastic. It's great for the city. It's great for art and keep things going. And it shows the economic impact because you can imagine every single night all these restaurants and bars are jam-packed. The hotels, jam-packed.
Yeah. Well, see, I think this in Garden City is going to be, showcase our community, and hopefully, it's going to help the merchants too,
Yeah, and
bring the people in.
In talking and looking at the spots that are available in the corner of Ford Rd and Middlebelt, in the downtown area, there's a lot of spots where you could have not only sculptures, throughout the year, but also festivals. There's a lot of, open spaces.
Art in the park
vendors.
too. We used to have art in the park, right at Garden City Park. We used to have that. We could do something like that even.
Yeah, I think that'll
Have
be
them
coming back.
showcase some sculptures
we can certainly help organize.
Yeah.
And
Well, we can work
collaborate
with you on that. The GCBA would love to work with you on that.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of artists that live in Metro Detroit, but there's just not that many galleries. So
That's
they
the
do it
thing.
for the love of it. They might participate.
But
in
nowhere
one
to
of the art
showcase it.
fairs, But if you can't show it, no one can see it.
Right.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah.
It's getting sort of feedback from people sometimes and just being creative.
So you've been working on press release. You're going to try and get a big press release about this, get it out there.
Yeah, hopefully within a week we'll have some more information for the public. We'll be looking for both these projects, but since Garden City seems to be more enthused, and it's a smaller project, and the building's in better shape, we'll be looking for partners for a variety of these areas for the production video classes. People who might want to teach, we can partner up on and offer space. We've got about at least 3,000 up to 7,000 square feet of space for exhibits. And
that's good size.
we'll have about 3,000 square feet or so for production classes and
And the different
productions.
levels and that. You got the catwalk around there. And,
Yeah,
I mean, it's just,
really charming on the inside.
It is.
It's really nice.
I mean, I can visualize it, and I mean, you can visualize it a lot better than me, but
Oh yeah, it's really
It's gonna be phenomenal.
And again, just like the Westland project, we're going to be working with a nonprofit and establishing that along with a for-profit, and because a lot of times the nonprofits they get involved with say food and beverage service, and you might as well just make that a for-profit.
yeah,
You're there to supply service to your customers.
yeah,
So,
Right.
so we'd like to work with a lot of chefs.
yeah, because
too,
you want to
so-
have food and all that there. and-
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, some good food and beverage pairings.
Yes, yes. If residents, say residents in the community want to get involved in this, maybe come help you out, help you clean or whatever.
Yes.
Are you looking for anything like that?
Yes.
You
Well,
are?
we haven't made the announcement yet, but yeah,
Okay.
we will definitely. It's actually not in bad shape. It does need some cleaning and some painting, and we'd
Yeah,
like to work with the local
It's
community.
really not major stuff. I think the most major stuff is probably the lift, right? Well, in the bathrooms,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. It starts adding
There
up,
are,
and
yeah.
you start looking. This huge center area,
But not anywhere near Westland site.
No, that's that's a Westland project.
And
Just
it's
the building
huge.
alone
It's
is
a lot
probably
bigger.
3 or 4 times the size.
Yeah.
But Westland's the interior has the same sort of charm that the Garden City building does. A lot of different levels. in it,
Okay.
where you just don't see it built
Yeah, true.
like that anymore.
Yeah,
For ADA compliancy, it does make sense, but
right. Okay. All right, I just wanted to double check our radio's still going. Okay. So if the public does want to get in contact with you, what's the best way to do that?
Sure.
I know you have a Facebook page as well.
Yeah, you can contact me through there or my email. That's always a good way, too. And that's wakefieldstudios@mac.com.
And I think your Facebook is facebook.com/Wakefield Studios, too. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I checked that today. Yeah.
All right. That's good. And
Let me
you-
see.
and-
I think I got it on here. Yep. Facebook.com/Wakefield Studios.
Okay, that's
Facebook,
good.
yeah.
I don't
So
know.
that's probably the best way they can message you on
Well,
that.
you know, it's funny because my daughter helped me put up a Facebook page in California,
Okay.
and but I never used it because people just didn't communicate that way there. It was just here.
Seriously?
It seems like everybody does.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God. Social media is huge here.
Yeah,
Huge.
There, I think maybe the tweeting and some of the other
Tweeting.
ways to communicate.
Yeah, that's
they
more.
prefer it.
Yeah, it is.
But
there.
here, yeah,
I think even New York tweeting's bigger than Facebook.
well,
But he just announced he's got 1.65 billion people on Facebook now.
wow,
Can you imagine? I mean, that's unbelievable,
Yeah.
Zuckerberg.
it's a lot of people.
Jesus. So let me ask you another thing. If people wanted to come and view like the plans and pictures and stuff, is this available for them to stop by or?
Well, we
Not
have
yet?
an office, Dual Guard. My friend Dave Miller, he's the president, gave us an office to set up the presentation, and so that's in Westland,
Oh, okay.
and that's at 6232 Executive Drive. But by appointment only, so you could call
Okay.
me if somebody wanted to see it. You can call me. My phone number is 951 area code 756-5900. And we could show it to you, but as soon as Mayor Wild from Westland and the staff see it next week, we will probably move it to the Garden City building.
Okay, yeah.
Because we can work in the Garden City building, and
There
it's
you
really
go.
just an office area that Dave was kind enough to let us use to set
Okay.
this up right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Garden City building is going to work great. I think.
It's going to be great. So what about the city? Is the city on board with this? You've met the mayor, I believe, at
I met the mayor.
DDA.
I haven't met any of the other. Well, I met one of the councilmen.
I think eventually
very
you're going to go
briefly.
before the council.
Yeah, we'll go down and introduce the project.
Once
let
things
them
are in
see
place.
it. Invite them to come over and see the building because if they haven't been in it, you're going to be very pleasantly surprised. It's
Yeah.
really a nice building.
You get rid of the tanning beds in there yet?
No, if anyone needs any tanning beds, there's
Yeah,
about
I mean, you
don't
might as
know,
well announce
30
it.
or 40
Yeah.
of them.
Right, right. They're older, but I guess they're still workable.
That's-
Or
I
if you need
heard.
parts, anybody needs parts, even part them out.
Oh, maybe we should set up and just have a tanning room. We can just sit around and
Yeah, there you go.
get tan.
Put
I
some
could-
graffiti. You gonna have any graffiti art?
I'm not really a big fan of it because I saw so much of it
It's
in California
getting popular,
everywhere.
though. Really,
Yeah, you know,
I'm not a personally big fan either, but I just know that a lot of people like it.
every once in a while I'll see a nice mural that was done with spray paint.
Yeah.
But the whole just the graffiti, the sort of the inner city vibe that
Right.
portrays, I'm just not a real big fan of. But
and a lot of people
That's all right.
associate it with gangsta and all that stuff.
yeah, you know, in L.A., hey, look, you know,
Yeah.
it's a big place.
Yeah,
There's a
it's-
lot of graffiti
Yeah.
around, but I
Yeah,
don't
I can
really
imagine.
care to look at it so much. But
Right.
if you
But
could
they've
take
actually-
a graffiti artist and they do something, you know.
Well, they've
and they-
actually dressed up quite a few buildings in Detroit. I don't know if you've gone down to Detroit.
Yeah,
but,
oh,
but
yeah.
I mean, they're actually, bringing these guys in to do this.
Oh yeah, Dan Gilbert did, and
Yeah,
actually
Dan
the
Gilbert.
guy who he got in trouble for copyright infringement when he did the portrait of the president, President
yeah.
Obama.
Right,
and he
right,
took
right.
Someone else's,
Yeah, that was his
Design.
design. Yeah.
but it gave him some notoriety, and he's now on his way to. I don't know.
Right. Exactly. So, what else you want to tell us about your venture here in Garden City?
Well, I just think having a place that is going to look really great. It's going to. I think it's going to be the start of a little sort of an arts district in Garden City. I don't. Some towns around the country they'll designate an area as an arts district, and then so it piques the attention of people who are involved in the field, like architects, interior designers, landscape designers, and things like that. And once you all start. You're all near each other. It's sort of like a restaurant row. You can go down there and see a variety of things, even
Yeah.
if somebody was closed or wasn't there or something. There's going to be a lot of other people you can see.
Right.
And so I see us being open 7 days a week. and just being a real benefit to the community.
Awesome.
You know, experimenting with some art and culture and bringing in people who
And you'll
normally
probably have
don't
employees, right? You're
What's
probably
that?
going to have to hire somebody, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's it's about 13,000 square feet when
Yeah.
you count the levels, not the footprint of the building itself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
So there's an
employees
opportunity
will-
for employment too down the road.
There is. I like the idea of networking with what I call art entrepreneurs, people who are really creative but more or less want to work for themselves, and we can sort of partner up with those people who might want to teach.
So anybody in Garden City, if they're interested in the arts, they know anything about the arts, contact you.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd love to hear from them, right?
Yeah, we'll put a little sign. We were just finishing cleaning up the windows a little bit, but we'll get a little sign in the front, and then we're going to start working on an exhibit on in the front of the window on the other side of the doors.
Yeah.
Along Ford Road. So I think that'll be interesting, and everyone needs to know it's temporary.
Yeah, temporary, exactly. So let me ask you: is it a go, or at this point, is it a go, or are we still waiting on a few things?
For Garden
tie up?
City, I think it's a go. I mean, we don't have our certificate of occupancy yet.
But you can't get that until you get the lift, I think.
Yeah, right. And so I'm still interviewing people, contractors and such
Yeah.
for various aspects of things I'd like to get done in there and see what it's going to cost. We'll develop a budget, and then from there we'll start reaching out more for partners. And I don't know really how long it'll take us to put it together, but once you have the building, that's the key. Now we know we can make things happen.
Right.
And somebody brought it to my attention. The population of Garden City, for an example, is
Yep.
what 27,000.
Yep.
Yeah, that's about right.
153. Mm-hmm. It never happens this way, but if everybody would give $10, it's $271,000 and change, and that'd fix everything up from top to bottom.
Yeah.
It'd be done.
So people can get involved.
Yeah.
I mean, invest, right?
We're going to set up a board so anyone who has experience raising money or has money and they can see the vision, come down and understand it a little bit better, there'll be a lot of opportunities to not only help the creative economy here, or really develop a creative economy, but have a lot of fun doing it.
So this is going to be, grassroots too. I mean, if people
Yeah, it's
want to
starting.
invest, they can.
Well, yeah, the thing too is, there so people that were involved in looking at the whole Westland project, and then at first they thought, well, what are you doing in Garden City? But once they understood it, at least we can meet here.
Yeah.
And I committed to the members of the Moose Lodge that this was not going to be a temporary thing. We're not going to just use their building for a
And
year and
abandon
meet
them,
and then leave it. There are so many people that are interested in the arts that would come to Garden City, too. And they're two different projects. Garden City, it's more of a city project. It's on a
Right.
very busy street. And even though
They are real
Westland's project is on Merriman, which is busy, it's set back off. It's
And
a little
that's,
more
like you said,
quiet,
more
and
of a
it's
nature.
sculpture garden. Yeah, and they both have their own really interesting characteristics.
Yep. No, I think it's going to be, wow, fantastic.
Oh, it's going to be a blast. Yeah,
It
I
is.
wasn't looking forward
Things-
to really another building and getting involved in more projects.
But we were talking, earlier, and it's just amazing how fast things started progressing in Garden City, right?
I got to say that about people in Garden City is that they networked so quickly
Yeah.
and encouraged it. I mean, I got a lot of great, positive encouragement in Westland too, but this was a little different in respect that the building was in much better shape.
Yeah.
And everyone's talking and meeting and wanting to know how they can help, and that's just awesome.
Yeah, it is. It just dominoed like crazy.
Feel the love in Garden City.
Feel the love. Yeah, you will, let me tell you, because, boy, when they get behind somebody, they do, right, Mike? Yep.
Well, and it's like I can't do it on my own because, most of my contacts are in California, and there's
Yeah.
not a lot of people I know that want to come to Michigan to invest in.
Yeah,
But
they don't want to leave that warm weather.
California does have the weather, but you know what? It's so crowded there now. From
But it gets
I was
warm, yeah.
living inland from Los Angeles, but if you want to go see a concert, you want to go to a baseball game, or it's so time consuming to get on the road and travel.
Yeah.
And then you got a couple hours there, even though you don't live that far away. You got a couple hours back.
It's gridlock.
It is.
A lot of it. A lot of it's really
Constantly.
gridlock.
So that's one thing when people say, "Oh, the traffic's terrible here." It's like, Not really.
Yeah.
At least not what I've
You can't
seen.
relate.
Not so much.
So what do you got to say? Anything, Mike? Any
No,
questions,
I don't know,
comments?
I'm looking forward to seeing it develop.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah, when we start being able to visualize and see some plans in that, it's going to be awesome.
Well, so in a couple of weeks, we'll have some plans. We're putting together a little presentation for the Garden City Project 2, and we're going to be moving the Westland, presentation over here also. So people who are interested in art, they're going to like both places.
Oh yeah.
If you were only going to give $25, as your contribution, to getting an art center, if you live in Garden City, you might want to keep it here, but it's going to be beneficial to more than just people who live in the city, because there are artists and creative people all over, Michigan. I mean, I've been going to all the art shows and the art fairs, from the Ann Arbor to the Funky Ferndale to the Plymouth, and I've been picking up cards from all the artists that I, admire.
Yeah, Plymouth has got a pretty big art.
I call that one a craft fair.
More craft, isn't it?
There's a
Yeah.
couple of artists.
That's true.
Seriously, 2
Yeah.
or 3 artists. I was actually a little disappointed because I like to see more art, not just, a lot of mass-produced things that crafters might do more.
Yeah.
I really appreciate artists that put together original works of art. That's just, me, and it's this whole area is just underserved.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they do something, but it's really not a lot of art.
Well, it'd be nice to get something different in Garden City and something everybody can enjoy, really.
Right.
And that rooftop deal, boy, that's a seller right there.
One of the board members took me up to the roof because I was asking about it, and it's just a straight ladder. There's a hatch. That you
definitely got to have a lift to get up there.
But this was like a little month or so ago, and it was a cold night. The stars were out, and we're up there. I had my glass of wine, and we're just looking
Isn't
around.
that great?
Going, this is awesome, even during the winter.
Oh yeah, it'd be awesome.
We could have fire pits up there.
Yeah, sure.
And you sit back and just that gives us an extra 8,000 square feet to exhibit. Get the garden group involved,
garden club, yeah,
and make it a really beautiful rooftop garden.
Yeah,
It
kind of a
has
little
art
sanctuary or
yeah,
meditation garden or something.
Yeah.
Be great.
It's a great building. It needs to be used for something really special. I think we have that.
So realistically, when do you think this would open?
I'd say probably
Roughly.
Realistically, that's sometimes hard to judge, but
Yeah.
I hope
Or
by the end of summer.
Okay.
I've been tapping. I've been talking to a lot of friends that I had in high school and getting reacquainted with people. Even though I came back here frequently from California, it was mostly to vacation up north, so I didn't do a lot of socializing in Metro Detroit.
Yeah.
But now that I'm here more, I have been reaching out, and old friend Ken Adams, author and a well-known psychologist, has offered his help, and quite a few other people said, "Well, let me know, how it's going and what you need."
Yeah.
So we'll see when the time asks.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not afraid to call up anyone and for a good cause.
No,
and
that's
ask them to
it's who
pitch
you
in,
know. Really, a lot helps a lot. So, well,
and once the community leaders get behind, each of these projects
That's the thing.
that's when people start to listen even more, because they do listen to politicians. And if you work for your city and you love your city and you have a good cause to invite people to come and contribute to it, many people will. So I have great faith in the communities here. They do a lot of volunteering already. I can see it.
oh yeah, a lot of
just since I've been here.
Yeah, a lot of service clubs.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd be all willing to help out.
Well, and say just the Moose too. I mean, they have
Yeah.
so they own this building, and they're.
And they've really been accommodating, right?
Oh, they have been.
I mean,
really great.
Marty and all the guys over
Yeah,
there.
Marty's really cool, and so I've talked to him mostly because he sort of runs the place over there, and they're community based too. So they just said, hey, whatever you need to make this happen, we want to see this thing happen,
because it'd be good for them. I mean, it's going to be good for the entire community. It just snowballs.
right?
It's a win-win all the way around for everybody.
Yeah, if they came up and said, "Hey, I need $500,000 for the building, and it's worth it," I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'd have said, I'm sort of busy for that because I wouldn't want to put in a whole lot of money into another project.
Yeah.
But in this case, I'll put in some time and effort and help lay it out and plan
Sweat
it, and
equity.
coordinate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that helps because
It
once
does.
people can, especially if they come and see the building, they're going to fall in love with it.
Yeah. And if they're in there and they're working, side by side with you, and they're cleaning it up and they're painting and they're volunteering their time,
They're
then
part
they
of
feel
it.
a part
Exactly.
of it. They feel a part of it, and they're going to tell their friends, and their friends will tell their friends. It's just it's gonna be wow.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Oh,
and there'll
awesome.
be some nice, I think,
I'm excited as hell.
collaborations and some challenges that we'll
Yeah.
put out to artists. We've got some friends and businesses that have been willing to give us materials that we can create with. And so we'll offer challenges to artists to see what they can make with certain materials that we'll give them for free.
Sure.
You know? And it's hard for some people to imagine if you haven't seen it before. But like in California, it's sort of like New York. There's a lot of galleries, hundreds of galleries, and there's not here. So a lot of people haven't had the exposure to the arts that you do in other major cities. And it's just time.
Yeah.
It's time for it to happen here.
Yeah.
And we did look at Detroit, and there are a lot of interesting properties, but frankly, the crime level
Deterrent a little
yes, it did. Some people said, I don't want to have anything to do with it. Yeah. And the market is in the suburbs. I mean, why build something really far away from where most of the people live? Make it convenient for them, and it's more of a local opportunity for them because they live here. They can walk right down the street. Many people can walk to this building that live in Garden City.
And they can take Ford Road right to your studio and then leave the studio and go right downtown if they want.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Down Ford Road, right?
Yeah, go. Yeah,
take it right in there.
East if you want to. And hey, I like to go down to Detroit. It's.
Oh, they've really done a lot.
Even
they
the
really
Packer
have.
Plant,
Yeah.
even the nasty areas. It's so interesting because I don't know where else on the planet you can
A lot
see
of
so
history.
many burned out buildings.
Yeah.
Except in a war zone. Well, it sort of is a war zone in some areas.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. They're trying though. I will say that.
Yeah, thank God for Dan Gilbert.
It's just got to start, going out to the suburban, away from the city.
Yeah. Right.
If you leave outside the city, wow. Not good.
Yeah. So, and actually, we were looking at a property in Belle Isle that had a lot of promise, but dealing with a whole variety of different organizations down there.
Yeah, it's
and
a
again,
state
it was
park
just
now,
the having classes wouldn't be quite as popular, I don't think, because
Yeah, I don't think you would
gotta
draw.
have, maybe moms bring kids down and.
Just
it
finger
just seems like
painting
staying in the suburbs is a good bet for us.
Yeah, I think you'll do well, especially in Garden City. Well, we're happy to have you, and
Thanks.
and look forward to hearing more about it.
Yeah.
And we'll do dinner real soon. Maybe get Roxanne, Cheryl, and we'll go out and
Sounds
do
good.
dinner. All right.
Yeah, I'm on board.
All right. Well, hang around if you want, and we're going to finish up the show here. Get Joey and Holly in here now, and then we're going to get with Mike, and he'll close out the show. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
This is Gardening in 2 Minutes. When growing potatoes, it's an easy crop to grow, but it's a crop that needs to be grown at a specific time in your region or climate. Potatoes are a cooler weather crop and grow best when soil temperatures are between 50 and 70 degrees. You want to plant your potatoes when the soil temperature at root zone, that's being about 6 inches deep, is no cooler than 45 degrees Fahrenheit, preferably 50 degrees, consistent or warmer. You also don't want to grow potatoes when the soil exceeds 85 degrees Fahrenheit. The potatoes will die. So based on where you live, there are certain times of the year that potatoes can be grown and can be grown successfully.
You can use potatoes. If you don't want to use sweet potatoes, you can use potatoes, or you want to use organic potatoes from the grocery store. It is best to know the variety before you plant them. It is not ideal to use conventional potatoes or non-organic potatoes bought from the store because they will not grow. They're usually sprayed with something to prevent them from regrowing. There's 3 different types of varieties. There's early, mid, and late varieties. This means that there's ones that will grow sooner and ones that will take longer to grow. This is important to know for when you're planting them.
And that's the reason why you want to know the variety of the store-bought potatoes from your organic grocery store so you can at least have a gauge. You'll know when the potatoes are ready to harvest when the tops start dying back. Now, this is also important to know the variety to know how long those take, because if a variety takes 90 days and the tops are starting to die back at 45 days, you have a disease issue and you want to address it. So that's important to figure out what's going on there. For more information on growing potatoes and growing them successfully, our weekly video productions, as well as our free downloadable digital quarterly magazines, you can find all that information at
The WisconsinVegetableGardener.com.
For the health conscious organic gardener worldwide. For Gardening in 2 Minutes, I'm Joy Baird.
I'm Holly Baird.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. All right. We're going to get Mike in here and cue up the music.
Oh, that'll be the day.
Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the day.
Okay. It's time for some community announcements.
Let me tell you what's going to be
let's get
happening on
Mike in
That'll
here.
Be the Day.
Mike, take it away.
That'll be the day.
All right. Start off with some movie news. We're going to have Alfred Hitchcock Saturday matinee at the library. They'll be showing The Birds on this Saturday, April 30th, starting at 2 o'clock p.m. Patrons 14 and up are welcome to join the library. Younger kids probably should not be watching that movie.
No.
There will be snacks at the matinee. Keep in mind, material may be objectionable to some audiences.
Yeah.
And May the 4th be with you. Star Wars Day. Join us at the library for an all-day viewing of the original Star Wars trilogy. Viewing begins at 1 o'clock p.m. on May 4th. We'll kick off with Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, followed by The Empire Strikes Back, and wrapping up the day with Return of the Jedi. Snacks will be provided. You just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. The event is open to all ages. Nerd Night. Learn from the best, converse with other gamers on strategy, explore the gameplay and history of the action role-playing video game series Dark Souls with local gamer aficionado Gabe Kleinert on Monday, May 9th at 6 o'clock p.m. Topics of discussion for the evening will include the game's story, its world design, its effect on other games, and game culture, and what sets it apart from any other games in the world. This event is open to patrons 14 years of age and older and will have Mountain Dew and Doritos provided.
Ooh,
He's called...
I'm in.
Mountain Dew and Doritos. Hey, who can turn that down? Please call to register for this event at 734-793-1830. As a free service to residents, you can take your old or outdated prescription medicines to the Garden City Police Department. There's a box in the lobby to collect and properly dispose of potentially dangerous medicines, which are no longer needed.
Don't flush them.
Yep. And if you don't know by now, the Garden City Public Library offers drop-in computer tutoring every Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Do you need to brush up on the basics? Come on in and take advantage of this great one-on-one resource. Library is located at 31735 Maplewood Road, and the phone number is still the same, 734-793-1830. Community Shred Day. April 30th. It's got a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff.
Going on. Yeah, Kiwanis has got a prayer breakfast over at Amateo's in the morning.
Yeah.
Community Shred Day, Saturday, April 30th from 10 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. in the City Hall parking lot. Enter off Central from Ford Road. This is at 6000 Middlebelt Road, Garden City, Michigan. You can also drop off food donations to the home pantry. They'll accept up to 5 paper grocery boxes or cardboard banker's boxes of sensitive paper documents from Garden City residents and businesses to shred at no charge. Please note, cars must be in line by 12:45 p.m. It doesn't say it on here, but we all know that there's also going to be a portable Secretary of State's office available, so you can get your licenses renewed and all that kind of stuff.
One-stop shop.
Yep. Girls' Night Out Bunko fundraiser.
Yeah, Cheryl's
I
going.
got it right 2 out of 3 times, eh? Saturday, April 30th. Yeah, when else? Register at 6 o'clock p.m. Game time, 7 o'clock p.m. This is at Gordon Chevrolet, 31850 Ford Road in Garden City. It costs $20. There's going to be food, prizes, and fun raffles, 50-50. Call Sherry Barber to pre-register at 734-458-5238. or email her at sbarber@gordonchevrolet.com. Limited availability, and the proceeds are going to be used for making children's wishes come true. The Ladies Auxiliary at 396 is busy. They're having a Cinco de Mayo taco and nacho bar. And, of course, Cinco de Mayo will be celebrated on Saturday, April 30th. Something wrong with that. But at Post 396 from 4 to 7. $2 tacos, $5 loaded nachos, $2 chips and salsa and cheese, 50-50, and raffle for 2 Tigers tickets. And if you show up, I'd really appreciate it because about half the people have been staying home in this cold weather. And the proceeds for this will help our veterans. Love for Pups Animal Rescue Fundraiser Spaghetti Dinner. All you can eat for only $20. Saturday, May 14th from 4 to 8 p.m. at the VFW Hall, 33011 Ford Road in Garden City. Tickets may be purchased in advance by calling 734-394-9210, or you can pay at the door. That American Legion Auxiliary Unit 396 is having a Spring Craft and Vendor Show on Saturday, May 14th from 10 to 3. $1 admission. This is going to be at St. Mel's Church, 7506 Inkster Road in Dearborn Heights. That's on Inkster Road north of Warren Avenue. There'll be a bake sale, food available, 50-50 raffle. Email American Legion AUX 396 craftshow@yahoo.com for more information. All proceeds go to help our veterans and their families. Kevin's team, Walk to End Alzheimer's, invite you to join us for a day at the Greektown Casino, Wednesday, June 15th. We are walking in memory of their dad, Kevin, who passed away from younger onset Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah. He was only 40-something.
Yeah.
Early 40s.
Hannah and Emily are sponsoring it in memory of their dad.
Yeah.
It's $30, payment due by May 15th. For reservations and information, call Pat Koblinski, 734-422-1236.
Hello?
Round-trip transportation via deluxe highway motor coach equipped with restroom and reclining seats for your comfort and convenience. A 50-50 winner. Take-all drawing will be held on the bus. Each passenger will receive a rewards card with $20 in reward play. Good for any slot machine. Bus departs at 8:30. Or bus boards at 8:30. Departs at 9 a.m. Pickup is in the 13,000 Middlebelt Road at I-96 in the Livonia Myers parking lot across from the garden area. And then bus returns home at 3 o'clock. Please make check or money order payable to Pat Koblinski and mail to 28676 Balmoral, Garden City, Michigan. Coffee with Knezek. Please join Senator David Knezek for a casual conversation with what's important to you and the community. Wow. This takes place on the second Monday of the month, which means the next one will be on Monday, May 9th. The Garden City location will be at the Maplewood Senior Center. It'll be from 10:30 to 11:30. You can get questions and conversations with Senator Knezek. Also present will be State Representative Julie Plawicki, as well as County Commissioner Dave Anderson. Brenda's Butterfly Habitat, located at 6414 Merriman Road in Westland at Barson's Greenhouse between Ford Road and Warren. Brenda's Butterfly Habitat is filled with butterflies, host and nectar plants that are native to the area. You will see the complete life cycle of these winged beauties in all stages of their metamorphosis. It opens on the first Thursday in June and runs through the first Friday in September, closed July 4th. Hours of operation are Wednesday through Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., closed Monday and Tuesday. There's no admission to see it, but donations are graciously accepted and will help defray the cost of the operation. Merchandise available and caterpillars given away only on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. For more information, visit our website at butterfliesinthegarden /Brenda Knezek, DZIEDZIC, or at www.butterfliesinthegarden.com. You can also find her on Facebook by liking her at www.facebook.com, Brenda's Butterfly Habitat. And finally, the 16th annual Autos for Autism Car Show. The benefit Berger School for Students with Autism will be on Monday, July 11th from 5 to 9 p.m. This year only, it will be at a new location at the Garden City Middle School, 1851 Radcliffe, near Ford Road in Wildwood, formerly Garden City West High School. And that's due to construction on the parking lot at the regular venue at the Garden City High School. They will return there to the Garden City High School in 2017. There'll be fabulous raffle prizes, great music, delicious food with Baby Drew's barbecue, clowns, face painting, kids' activities, fun for all ages, dozens of trophies, dash plaques to the first 200 vehicle entrants. Visit facebook.com /autos for autism, or email autosforautism@yahoo.com, or call Lisa Clark at 734-323-3010. That's all we have, Gary.
All right, awesome. A lot of stuff in Garden City going on, Don.
Yeah, especially April 30th.
Yeah, this place is rocking.
This Saturday, you got about half a dozen things you could be Thursday.
Yeah, that was actually the mayor that called. If you heard me talking on the phone, and he forgot that I was on the air, but he's telling me about all the things that he has to do on April 30th, including the grand opening. He's got to cut the ribbon for that. But so I said I'll call him back if you're listening. So. All right, we'll move on here. In closing, I just want to mention again that if you'd like to be a guest on the show, like Senator Knezek or Don Wakefield, then all you have to do is send us an email, gccommunitychat@gmail.com. We'll shoot you some available dates, and that is all you have to do. Maybe you own a business or belong to an organization. You'd like to share your information with us and the surrounding communities. If so, this is the forum for you. Once again, email us at gccommunitychat@gmail.com or give us a call, 734-788-9319. We look forward to hearing from you. Our show reaches several communities in the area, so if you can get us some information about your business or organization, we'll be more than happy to mention it on the air. Are you a business owner, resident, or community advocate interested in serving the business community? If so, the Garden City Business Alliance is looking for you. Becoming a member is very easy. Just visit their website at gcbiz48135.org and fill out the contact page or give them a call at 734-788-9319. Also visit their Facebook page at facebook.com/Garden City Business Alliance. So why not consider joining the GCBA and be a part of moving the business community forward? Or why not come to their next membership meeting as their guest Friday, May 13th, 9 a.m. at the Straight Farmhouse in the Grand Parlor. You might want to come to that. 6221 Merriman Road, just north of Ford Road. And we thank Mark Hammer and all those over there for hosting our morning meetings for us. We really appreciate it. We hope you'll be able to attend, so we'd love to hear from you, and hope that you'll become a member of the GCBA. Okay, before we sign off tonight, please jot these numbers down if you'd like to become a member or a volunteer for any of the DDA events. Please give Kim or Teresa a call at 734-261-2830. The DDA office is located at 29213 Ford Road. And once again, if you'd like to become a member of the GCBA or volunteer for any of their upcoming events, 734-788-9319, or go to their website, gcbiz48135.org. Both the GCBA and DDA are working on events and dates right now, and we're looking forward to having some volunteers.
Is the Taste Fest sold out?
Yes, I want to announce that if you didn't get your registrations in for this year's Taste Fest, then you're out of luck. It is sold out. It sold out like a week ago. We sold 185 tickets last year and 211 this year, so about 26 more. This event is from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. with registration at 5:30 p.m. at the Golden Feather Restaurant, where you'll receive an itinerary and punch card. When you visit all 7 venues, be sure to get the card punched and then sign it, return it back, and then turn it back in at the Golden Feather. We're going to end there, too. And we're going to have some prizes at the end of the event and that, so be kind of cool. You'll then board your bus once you're at the sports venue, and you'll go to your first venue. The venues for this year are the Golden Feather Restaurant, like I said, where you're going to start and end this year, El Satan's, GJ's Diner, Leon's Family Dining, Sports Venue, the Straight Farmhouse, which is going to be a dessert stop, and also get information on taking a free tour of the museum. And the Garden City Mini Golf, they're celebrating their 50th anniversary. You'll have a chance to get off the bus, let the food settle a little bit, try for a hole-in-one to win a free game and have some refreshments as well. Bus transportation is provided by the Garden City Public Schools, and we thank them very much. You'll be able to drive yourself as well. All that we ask is that if you have any adult beverages, to please drink responsibly and assign a designated driver if needed. So if you want to be involved in any of these upcoming events, please contact the DDA and GCBA today. Well, I think we're ready to call this a podcast. I want to thank my co-hosts, Tom and Mike, and our guests, Senator David Knezek and Mr. Don Wakefield, for stopping by and visiting with us tonight. Also, thanks to Joy and Holly and everyone who joined us in the chat room, and for those that's going to be listening and downloading the show later, and also those that will be watching on the YouTube channel. Hi, everybody. We really appreciate your support every week. Remember, the audio from tonight's show will be available on our Facebook page at facebook.com/GCChat shortly after we sign off tonight. And also on our main show page at TalkShoe.com, show ID 82757. And look for the video, don't forget, of tonight's show tomorrow on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/CommunityChatShow. And if you like the show, don't forget to subscribe. Just click on that little red subscribe button right below the video. All right, remember, the success of a community depends on the community, so please support your local businesses. And if you see something, say something. Look out for one another out there. For all your weather information, be sure to head on over to DopplerTomsWeather.com. So on behalf of Tom, Mike, Joey, and Holly, this is Carrie saying take care. And we'll see you next week, May 5th, right here with special guest Dennis Newbacher on TalkShoe.com, show ID 82757. Have a good night. See you guys. Yeah, that's a good time. Good time.
I heard a little question going on there.
Mike loves it.
My wife probably wonders, why the hell are you doing this every week? But yeah, I have a good
She would be amazed how many people listen to you.
Yeah, if there's 800 people that follow this show, then
Oh, more than that.
and we add her to the list, it'll still be 800.
See you guys. Night.